Welcome to Coffee with Carrie, and thanks for stopping by today. You're wondering, what is the gift I'm going to bring on a first date? I have had clients bring a flower, or somebody bring a client of mine a flower. It's a lovely little touch, but not necessary. The gift of gab, you're thinking. Also wrong. I find that so many people have a nervous energy on a first date. There are a bunch of tools we can use to be more relaxed and self-assured as we step into a date. Other episodes about that. But often it's still a struggle for a lot of people to feel that they're in their element and they can truly relax and be themselves on a first date. And while you're working on that, I have some tips, some tricks maybe even, that you can use to your benefit. And one of them is bringing a different type of a gift to a first date. You want to know what that is, don't you? Oh, good. I've piqued your interest. If that's at all interesting, intriguing, or sounds like a good time, stick around because that gift and what it is and how to use it, that's what's on the agenda. There's that inner monologue saying, I wonder what they're thinking about me. I wonder if I said something ridiculous. Am I talking too much? Am I talking too little? And very often when people are nervous, they do one of those things. They either talk too much. Somebody will come back to me after the date and feedback and say, wow, I could barely get a word in edgewise. And it's funny because sometimes the other person will tell me the exact same thing. And I'm like, wow, I have no idea what happened here. Somebody misread. But other times somebody will say they were very nervous. It took me a long time to get them to open up. I felt like I had to, keep asking questions after questions and I wasn't getting anything to work with. And thousands of these dates go out and have the feedback from all of them as to what people were thinking and how they felt during the date. I feel qualified to share with you that I think the gift that you should bring with you to a first date is the gift of your attention, the generosity of your attention, because the opposite of doing that would be to think, you know what, I don't really know where this is going or what to say, or they're being a little quiet, or I'm feeling a little uncomfortable. Fill that silence. I'll just lay out my life story so they know what they're getting into. And while that can be charming once you know somebody really well, on a first date, that's not going to work. That's monopolizing the conversation and oversharing. I talk about follow-up questions all the time. So you ask a question and then resist. It's about resisting the urge to then, when you get your answer, jump in with how you have something similar to share that would unite you because it's alike. And that's most people's impulse. But to resist that and instead ask a follow-up question is where great conversations are made out of ones that start out as very uncomfortable. But while this person is sharing, in order to be able to ask a great follow-up question, you have to be paying attention. You have to actually be interested to be able to have what they say make sense, to not disconnect and go in your own head, to ask yourself all those questions we talked about at the top of the episode. I wonder what they're thinking. Is this going well? What time should I stay until? Should I order another drink? Maybe I have to go to the bathroom, but should I wait? Oh, if she gets up to go to the bathroom, should I stand up? Maybe she didn't like it when I pulled her chair out. Was that too much? Get out of your own head. Instead, give this person the gift of them having your attention instead of you having your attention and theirs probably. You're hogging the attention. That is a lovely thing not only to do for the other person, but to do for yourself because your date goes better. Once you are listening and in the moment and paying attention to what this person is saying, you will have thoughts about what they said and be able to ask that follow-up question. So when they say to you something like, oh, I just took up pickleball, instead of saying, oh, really? My sister's playing pickleball. She says it's really fun and I should go with her. What did you learn about him if you do that? Instead, you say, oh, pickleball, like, had you read about it or you have friends who played? How did you hear about pickleball? Did you buy your own stuff? Do you wear special shoes? I don't know much about pickleball. How is pickleball different than tennis? Are there a lot of rules? Because I thought about playing. Where do you go? Who taught you how? A million questions that you could ask instead of telling us about your sister and her pickleball friends. That's the gift right there. Instead of flipping it around to you, you can now keep it about this person. I've had some over 50 coaching clients say to me that as women of a certain age, They feel invisible, that people don't listen to them or really see them, and they get passed over or ignored in some situations. But I can assure you that it's people of all ages that could say that sometimes feel invisible or ignored. People aren't always paying attention to us. Many people are wrapped up and worried about their own stuff. You know, that's what I tell people when I'm coaching them about confidence. Get out of your own head. Stop worrying what people are thinking about you, because they're not. They're thinking about themselves. They don't have time to be worried about if what you said made sense or not, or made you look a certain way. They're thinking about what did they do. That's just how we are as human beings. We're not analyzing what other people say. We're in our own heads half the time because there's so much going on in there. We're not used to people actually paying attention to us in a positive way. So it truly is a gift. It is a kindness and a generosity to give someone our attention and not hang on their words, but truly take in what they say so that you can say something that is considerate back to them, so that you can show that you heard them, you processed it, and it created a question within you to know more about them. And isn't that what this date is about? Learning more about one another to determine whether you would enjoy seeing them again. Remember, that's all a date is. That's what you're trying to figure out. Not if they're your life partner, not if this is your next wife or your next husband, but to know whether this is a person you want to spend more time with, one more date. And if that is answered in the positive, successful date. I want to see you one more time to learn more about you. So truly giving people the gift of your attention is validation. It makes people feel special, seen, heard. Holding space for somebody is precious to them, and it should be something that you are paying attention to, because you'll realize that when somebody does that for you, you would want to also give that to other people. It spreads positivity in the world. Nobody wants to be invisible. And this way you force somebody not to talk about themselves the whole night and just go on, because you can interject. You can control which direction the conversation goes when there's enough of them sharing how they got into pickleball. Or you may realize that the story about your sister isn't relevant. It would be much more telling if you were to share on why you haven't yet played pickleball yourself or why you want to. That way, this person can learn about you and not your sister. Although telling them about your sister would let them know you talk to your sister regularly. She's your best friend. Nothing wrong with that as well. But the more you can make it about sharing and learning about each other, the better. Your sister can wait till date number 3. I hope that you found that helpful, interesting, enjoyable, informative, something that would make you give a thumbs up like my mom wants you to. I would appreciate the subscribing to my channel if you would give me the honor, because it really helps me out and it gets my videos shown to more people, and we can get more great, knowledgeable daters out there in the world like you. I appreciate you being here today, and I'll look forward to next time. Until that happens, thank you again, and have a good one.